Well, Ulysses, another series, another sweep for the Tampa Bay Rays.
It seems like we've said that many a times this season, and we're going to talk about that. We've got a mailbag, and of course, it's a fun Friday episode, so we got baseball trivia and Name That War. So let's get started right now.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we are the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Be sure to check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays, as well as all the other podcasting platforms. You can also find us on social media, Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Rays, and email us anytime, lockedonrays@gmail.com. Well, the Tampa Bay Rays take down the Minnesota Twins yesterday afternoon. Still hate those midweek or late week, during the week afternoon games. Can't watch them. It's hard to do when you have a full-time job and all that. Regardless, the Rays ended on a high note, downing the Minnesota Twins by a score of 4-2. And I'm just going to say it right now. The MVP of that game was umpire CB Buckner.
Okay. All right. I did not see that coming. Okay. Present your case, Mr. Weiss. Why was it CB?
Because Bailey Ober was rolling and rolling and rolling. He was, I believe, perfect through the first three innings.
He was indeed perfect. Yeah.
So it could have been a Dallas Braden-esque situation against the Rays. And then CB Buckner did the old, let me check the hands, let me check the glove. All right, buddy, you need to go back and wash yourself off a little bit. And whether Bailey was doing things not so kosherly or not, regardless, I think that threw him out of his rhythm and got him probably into a little bit of a tizzy, and his momentum was wavered at that point.
I completely agree. I think the one thing I do, isn't it kind of like a mom checking a kid's hands? Like, did you wash your hands?
Yeah.
Let me smell them. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Go back in there. It feels like that, which is embarrassing because they're all grown men. And second of all, I don't understand. Like, if you find something, even if it's rosin and sweat, that's it. You should be gone. Like, that's the line. The line shouldn't be like, oh, that's too much. No, the line has always been, hey, you've got something that you shouldn't have on there. You're out of the game. Now it's like, well, it's too much rosin. Like, what? No, that's, if it's too much rosin, then you did something wrong.
Right.
And thus you should get the boot. So that's number one. Number two, Kevin Cash didn't know that this had happened. Did you know that? In the post-game conference, they asked him, and he's like, oh, I didn't know that. I thought he was just delayed because he went to the bathroom. And so he got some out late. So he wasn't even aware of that. And number three, when this happened to the Twins against the Yankees, and Domingo Germán was told to wash his hands, Rocco Baldelli threw a fit. And he got ejected, and he was like, I can't believe that this happened. Like, there's no way that this. And then his own pitcher did it. Now, I don't know what Rocco said after the postgame, so I will say that maybe he did talk about it. So that's on me for not checking what he said. But a little bit hypocritical. I wish Cash would have said something if he had known about it. But regardless, the Rays get the win.
Yeah, and first off, I think umpires like CB Buckner, the fact that we know his name, probably not a good thing. They get a kick out of that. They get enjoyment out of that. They relish the opportunity to tell a player what's what, and I think have that control. There's some people that work in different industries and jobs that like that power, if you will. And I think that CB Buckner, Joe West, guys of that ilk, you can add them to the list of, they like to push around their influence or perceived influence, if you will.
You give a man a walkie-talkie and a flashlight, and my goodness, they're a general. Yeah. You don't see that? Like, you just give a walkie-talkie and a flashlight, and my goodness, yeah, they think that they're leading troops. But interesting game. Yonny Chirinos gets called up, and they're giving him the ball apparently, according to Trisha, they wanted him to work on getting some first pitch strikes and a little bit more swing and miss in the minors, which is, that's a good thing to tell fans on like why he was sent down, even if it's true or not, even if it's whatever it is. That's good for Trisha for letting the fans know that that's what they were working on. And he delivers, man. 5 2/3, solid pitching. I think Yonny Chirinos is the kind of guy that he will forever be underrated because of the state of where baseball is right now. What is baseball if you're a pitcher? You have to throw 100, you have to get swing and misses, and then you get talked about. But if you deliver 5 2/3 innings to a team that's first in their division, mindful, albeit that division plainly is horrible, you deliver. You're a solid number 4, number 5 starter, and you're not going to get talked about. But Yonny delivers time and time again.
And the Rays love to play behind him, evidently, because his record, the Rays record, when he's on the mound is pretty remarkable. And yeah, I don't know the basis of why he was sent down and then got called up. I mean, he seemed to be doing fine this entire year with the Rays. There's a lot worse options out there for sure. And yeah, he's got a little bit of that Isaac Paredes vibe of he's, I guess, going to be criminally underrated unless you turn or are part of a fantastic double play, or you make a remarkable diving stop, or you hit a big time home run, whatever it may be. There's a lot of other guys that are going to be talked about before Yonny Chirinos. But I think what the players like, and John Romano wrote a really good feature on Yonny Chirinos and how his analytics, if you look up his Savant page, it's all blue. It's like, oh my gosh, is this guy the worst pitcher in baseball? But again, you have to take everything with a grain of salt and evaluate it as a whole. But I think that defense especially likes playing with a guy like Yonny because he works quickly and he puts balls in play, or his style induces contact that is playable and reachable for the defense. If you're a defensive player, it's great to, have a guy twirl and do amazing things like Shane McClanahan, but you also want to get in on the action a little bit. You want to make a catch in the outfield. You want to handle a ground ball that's routine. You don't just want to stand there for 2 hours and 7 minutes.
You know what happens when you're standing you're going to miss a play because you're not doing anything. You're stiff, So look, and the Baseball Savant page, I get it. It's very reminiscent of, now we're looking at Baseball Savant pages and like making a whole determination about a player, which is ridiculous. Like, and the people that are doing this are so funny because they're like, I'm very analytical. I don't look at batting average. Okay, so you look at 6 categories and then just make a whole determination about a player? Like, that's ridiculous.
Like online dating, like you look at a person's face or profile. Okay, I don't know anything about the person, what their interest, hobbies, background is, but the face not to my liking, the body not to my liking, I'm going to swipe left. That's like the Savant page. You look at it, not enough red on there, crap player.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I only like the interest, but I didn't like the movie she put out. So definitely gonna swipe left. Like it's ridiculous, man. It's happening right now with like there's like a whole Luis Arias thing right now happening in the internet. It's ridiculous. If you're hitting 400, you're a good player. Shut up. If you're leading the league in OPS plus, you're a good player. Shut up. I don't care how many blue bubbles are in your Savant page. And it brings me not only to Yonny Chirinos, but it also brings me to Harold Ramirez. Remember the whole BABIP, will he regress, will he not? We talked about it during his player review. The BABIP is quite high. But you know what? Sometimes there are people that are going to be at the end of a spectrum, right? So, I mean, that's what a spectrum is. Some are always going to be on one side. Harold Ramirez could be the guy that's on that side of the spectrum, and the season that he's been having in 2023 is ridiculous. Let me get the numbers. 293 batting average, but I don't know if that's updated. Let me check
looking it up right now after that monster of a home run to straightaway center.
295.
295
in an 851 OPS and 9 home runs. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And this is a guy who, might not have the glove. I just came up with this. He might not have the glove. Is he a righty Jonathan Aranda?
Yeah, I think he's better though and more refined. And I don't know if I ever foresee Jonathan Aranda hitting.
Sorry. Let me switch that up.
Yeah.
Let me switch that up. Could Jonathan Aranda become a Harold Ramirez?
Sure, maybe in time. I don't know if he'd have a season like this, but I think you're on the right track there for sure. I wouldn't totally disagree with you on that. And if there's something to be appreciated is that somebody's got to be in that DH role. Somebody has to show that I'm okay with sitting on my bum for 2+ hours and coming up to hit 3-4 times a game, because there are a lot of guys that can't make that transition or have difficulty making that transition. So to be able to pencil in a guy like that as you're getting other guys rest and off days, I'm cool with that.
Same.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So, Harold Ramirez, I'm just looking at. Yeah, he's maybe he's just good enough to where he can find the holes in the infield. Could that be a possibility as well?
But the numbers, Kevin, the numbers are telling me the expected whatever. Just let it happen, man. God, just enjoy the baseball team, people. Enjoy how good it is. This team is ridiculous right now. What is it, 46-19 right now? 46-19.
I've been saying it for weeks and weeks and weeks. 100 wins. At least 100 wins.
It's looking more and more likely, my buddy. It's looking more and more likely.
All right. We've got more to discuss, also baseball trivia and Name That War. But first, we have to tell you about something very important, and that is Game Time. Game Time is the place for last-minute ticket deals. Forget planning months in advance. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. Get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and so much more. The Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. It's the fastest growing ticketing app in the country for a reason. Get images of your seat before you buy so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. Buy tickets in a matter of seconds, 2 taps, and you are set. And then tickets are sent directly to your phone, so you never have to dig through your email. So snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create that account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB, LOCKEDONMLB, for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Ulises, anything else from this game that you want to highlight? Be it
yes,
Luke Raley smacking the ball.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
No, that's the guy. We need to at least say Luke Raley 5 times in this episode. We're running out of time, but Luke Raley has been doing fantastic in his last 22 games. Klosky had a great tweet out there about Luke Raley. I mean, the guy's hitting 291 in the last 21 of his 25 games. It's been very, very impressive to see what this guy has done. We put out a poll during rain delay theater, or whatever they call it in Rays Radio, and put three polls out. And the first one was whose production has made you the happiest? You know, that surprises you. Josh Lowe, Taylor Walls, or Luke Raley. Obviously, people voted Josh Lowe number 1. But man, the most surprising one has to be Luke Raley, because we knew the talent was there with Josh. We were hoping it would show up.
Yeah.
Luke Raley was just an incognito, a question mark, what can we get from him?
It was just, why is he continuously on the 40-man roster and we haven't seen a lick from him?
Exactly.
And then we saw the storylines in spring training, which you have to take with a grain of salt of, hey, the guy's in the best shape of his life. The guy's hitting bombs off guys that'll be in high A.
Yeah.
You know, what he did in spring training has translated to the big leagues, which is really surprising because I don't know if we quite expected or anticipated the performance that he would have this season. I'm glad you also mentioned Josh Lowe. Josh Lowe saving Jason Adams' bacon to end the game, or I guess also the ballpark. A combination of the ballpark, the dimensions of the trop, and Josh Lowe saving Jason Adam. Jason Adam, again, hey, you better be buying steak and lobster dinners for that defense behind you, because like 2 more inches, 3 more inches, and that ball is going off the wall or over the fence, or it's getting out of the reach of Josh Lowe.
Is that the 3rd time that Adams' last out has been edge of your seat? I mean, we got New York Yankees with Aaron Judge, the famous face. Number 2 was the Siri catch. And then Josh Lowe making this catch. Is that 3? Am I missing one?
I think that's right. There might be some more.
There might be another one.
Those are pretty big, important moments.
Look, he's getting the saves. That's all that matters in the end. I'm not going to be, well, the expected batting average of that ball was 800, so that's bad. Like, yeah.
At Yankee Stadium, it would have been gone.
Yeah, I don't care about expected when the game already happened.
Yeah.
It happened. The issue is, though, like, man.
And maybe don't you pitch differently depending on the ballpark to some extent? Maybe you bring a different idea of, hey, I can get away with this, or I can't get away with this. In these certain conditions and confines. Just saying.
I mean, if it changes from batter to batter, you would think that it also affects the pitch, the park that you're pitching in. So yeah, it's been a few hold your breath for the 27th out with Jason Adam on the mound, but as long as he gets the saves, that's all that matters, man.
Yeah. All right, let's get to. We're not going to do a full mailbag episode. I'm checking my email here. We just got one that popped in from Angela. Might have to answer that at another time. But a question from Jake Stokes, one of our OG listeners, says, offense has been great all year, and the Rays have tremendous depth at almost every spot. That being said, if a call came in for B-Lau or Manny Margot for pitching, starting or high-end reliever, would you make that trade?
Interesting. Does he mean did he mean like package them together or like them separately?
I would think separately. B-Lau or Margot, but I guess you could package them together if you so choose.
Okay.
I know.
It.
Well, I guess it depends. I'd like to see what names he's bringing to the table for this,
right? Because
reliever and see what the scenarios are. And I know earlier this week I was banging the drum of, hey, don't trade any part of this offense. But if there was a part of this offense in core that I'd be willing to give up, and I know it's not just because he's struggling offensively, but I think the Rays actually have depth in the outfield spot now, and they've been able to afford Manny Margot being quiet all season long, pretty much. I'd be okay with trading Manny Margot, getting his salary off the books. If that means like a legit starting or high-end reliever, you probably have to package him with a prospect or two. The other thing about this, though, is the value for these guys is basically at an all-time low. I mean, this moment
that's where my head's at. Like, you know, you're not being a Rays front office if you're just selling, you know, like. And again, this is a hypothetical. As you can check us, 2 months ago, we said Brandon Lau is untradeable. And that's the stance that we have taken.
And technically he is untradeable right now because he has a herniated disc or whatever.
Yeah. But really, like the production that he can give you when healthy, if healthy, plus the very affordable contract. Guys, don't make B-Lau trades. It's not going to happen. I understand there's frustration on his production, especially the last 2 years. But
the only thing the only reason it would happen is if Brandon Lau was a clubhouse upsetter, instigator, cancer.
Yep.
And he's certainly not that in any shape or form. Not to mention any names, but I'll mention a guy who I think clashed with various people. Blake Snell.
Well,
you can name some other names too if you want.
Okay, I'll give another name. I don't know if Blake Snell, but I definitely know Hunter Renfroe.
Okay, Hunter Renfroe. Yeah, so that's a good one.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Blake Snell, we look at his contract at, hey, he won a Cy Young and he's making $10 million a year. Like that checks out. But, after the whole slap blank prospect,
I think the game
snafu, and
6.
some other, yeah.
I think the game 6. They were like, there's no way we can have him happy in this clubhouse.
Yeah.
Which will permeate throughout the clubhouse.
That's
and
my
it'll
point.
become like a Cash versus Blake team on the clubhouse. Like, let's not do this. Let's get away from
the only
that.
thing I could see that not happening with Brandon Lau, but if he's struggling so much and he gets down on himself so much that he becomes like just uncomfortable to be around because like, man, I suck, I can't hit anymore. Like,
yeah,
then maybe, but he's not like antagonistic in any shape or form. But
no. I understand your Manny Margot because but I got to go back to your own words. I do not want to upset the apple cart. I think you hit it right on the nail there, man. Do not. Why are you messing with a team that's 46-19 offensively when they have never been this good offensively? You know what? Maybe Margot is doing just fine giving Josh Lowe some rest against lefties. I know people want Josh Lowe to be a starter, but like, look how good Josh Lowe is doing at that. I know you want to see him more, but maybe him being spelled out by Manny Margot is good. Maybe Manny Margot being, putting the little foot down on Jose Siri, like, hey, yo, chill. Sometimes like being the dad of the outfielders, like that helps. So I'm with you. I'm with Kevin Weiss on Monday. Do not upset the apple cart offensively. I know we need bullpen help, but we have a farm that you can use, that you can utilize to get those relief arms that you need.
Yeah. And he's battle tested in the playoffs, and he knows what it takes to play in important moments. So having that experience to maybe pass down to other young players, I think there's a reason that the Rays gave him a multi-year deal. Just saying with that. But I'll just follow it up real quickly. If the White Sox called you and said, I don't know why they'd make this deal. They're not going anywhere. Regardless, Joe Kelly for Manny Margot, would you pull that off today?
That's a good question.
And Joe Kelly does have a team option for next season, so you could theoretically get another year of production from him.
That's a good question, and I want to hear what other Locked On Rays listeners are thinking about that in the comment section. But for now, I got to tell you guys about something that makes my legs look so damn good, and that's Bird Dogs, people. You know it. I've been preaching about this product. It is tremendous. Look, they have this stretchy fabric that makes you look so much slimmer than you actually are through the whole thigh and your leg, and it gives you a truly sculpted look. It's perfect. It's like they fit way better than the regular shorts because, those regular shorts have that stiff, restricting cotton.
Mm-hmm.
Not Bird Dogs, baby. Bird Dogs fixed this issue by inventing a cloud knit fabric that looks just like khaki pants, but stretches so you get way slimmer fit without having to sacrifice movement, which is great because if you want to do yoga, if you want to play tennis, if you want to go on the golf course like Kevin, you can use them. And guess what? When you're doing these activities and you're sweating, well, Bird Dogs thought about that, and they used an anti-stink sweat-wicking fabric that keeps you cool and dry all day long, which is perfect in this Florida heat. So today, go to birddogs.com/LockedOnMLB and enter promo code LockedOnMLB, and guess what you'll get? You'll get a free Yeti-style tumbler like this one with your order. So that's birddogs.com/LockedOnMLB, and you get a free Yeti-style tumbler. Okay, you won't want to take your Bird Dogs off anytime, we promise you.
Yeah, that's a good point about Bird Dogs. Before we get into baseball trivia, name that war. Yesterday, played in my golf league. I was wearing my Bird Dogs, and I had one of the best 9-hole scores that I've ever recorded. If not for that double bogey on hole 6 or 7, I would have. I was on pace for low 80s. I'm just going to say that. And there were 3 reasons for it. 1, I wasn't smoking a cigar. 2, I wasn't drinking until I got into the later ends. That's when things fell apart. And then 3, I was wearing my bird dogs from
Yeah.
start to finish. So
Exactly.
I think it was mostly the bird dogs that came through in the clutch there. All right. Baseball trivia, name that war. Ulises, what do you have in the way of baseball trivia?
Well, the Texas Rangers are coming to town, the second best record in the American League. So
Fangraphs actually ranked them in their power poll as being a better team than the Rays entering this week.
So look at that. So that's the kind of team that the Rays are going to be facing. So basically, the biggest matchup up to date for them. Maybe you could talk about the Orioles when the Rays went to Baltimore, but this one right now, again, as the season moves on, this is the biggest one. That's the whole gist.
Yes.
So they're coming to town, and if you're a Rays fan and you have been alive for more than a decade, you might remember that the Texas Rangers were really good once. And between the 2010 and 2014 years. In 2010 and 2011, they were really good. And unfortunately for Rays fans, well, they got eliminated both times, back-to-back years in the ALDS by these Texas Rangers. So, Kevin, I want you to go in your baseball archives, and I have in front of me the Game 1 ALDS 2010 Texas Rangers lineup. I need you to name 6 of these players. Go.
In no particular order.
No particular order.
Okay. 2010 lineup. Okay. I think I need some inspiration from Perry. What do you think?
I think so.
Okay. Perry, come on. Yep, let's go.
Oh, that's the
trivia
fake Perry.
time.
That's
come
the
on,
fake
buddy.
Perry. Yep.
There he is.
Oh, dang. Okay, you got me. It's true Perry.
And he's got his bar collar on.
Of course he does.
The lawn guys were out there, so. Okay, well, Nelson Cruz.
That would be correct. In left field, batting 5th.
I might use one of my strikes early here. Elvis Andrus.
That is correct. Batting leadoff, shortstop.
Underrated player, I think. I think we're gonna look back and say, man, he's played for 20
He
years.
was really good.
Yeah. Oh man, come on. Cruz, Andrus, Michael Young.
Batting 2nd, third base.
Okay.
Halfway there.
I think I can keep rolling here. Ian Kinsler.
Batting 6th, second base.
Pudge Rodriguez.
Strike 1.
Oof. Okay.
2 more. Can he get 2
I
more?
really want to say I don't know. Josh Hamilton.
Correct. Center field, batting 3rd. I believe that was his MVP year.
Okay. I'm trying to think. Who was the catcher? I really want to say Saltamacchia, but I'm gonna hold off on that.
What a name. Saltalamacchia.
Yes. Oh man, this is really getting into crunch time. 2010. AL.
Okay, well, but while you're, some, people get drunk at games and they get obnoxious. I remember one guy that I sat next to, unfortunately, on the against the Red Sox, and he was a Rays fan. Maybe he's a Locked On Rays listener, who knows? But he was really drunk that night, and against the Red Sox, he was like, "Saltalamacchia, more like Salta Muchacha, Salta Muchacha." I was like, "Oh my gosh, please shut up."
Wow. So he had quite a few brewskis, if you will.
Quite a few. All right. I gave you enough time.
All right, I'll say it. Jared Saltalamacchia.
Strike 2.
Was that your hint that Saltalamacchia was playing for the Red Sox? Okay.
Yes, it was.
Damn it. Okay, come on. I know. There's like a prominent name here, right? I'm missing somebody big.
You're missing somebody huge.
Hall of Famer almost.
Basically. I just gave you the answer.
Who played for the Rangers and was a big power guy? Come on, Perry, need some help.
Come on, Perry's slacking today.
Oh man, I want a hint, but I know that wouldn't be fair.
I already gave it to you with the HOF.
Did he play for the Rangers for like his entire career?
No, he did not. But
no, it's not A-Rod. I can tell you that.
But he was damn good with them. All right.
You know what? Okay. Shot in the dark. I know it's wrong, but I'll say it anyway. Hank Blaylock.
Not bad. Not a bad guess. You're wrong. But you know who wouldn't be wrong? Swinging at balls and still hitting them out of the park?
No.
Swinging at pitches in the dirt and hitting them like if it was cricket?
Vladdy Daddy. Oh, my God.
Vladdy Daddy batting fourth, DHing. The other names that you missed: right field, Jeff Francoeur. First base, Devil Rays legend, Jorge Cantu. Totally forgot about that. And catching, Rays family member, Benji Molina.
That's disappointing. I was on such a roll, and then I fell apart.
I feel you, buddy. I feel you.
Bailey Ober. All right. Name that war. Is also a Texas Rangers player and is also a guy that was in that lineup. Hopefully you didn't look him up ahead of time too in depth. Michael Young. What is his career war?
Oh, this is a good one. See, these are the names I like. Michael Young. That's good. Michael Young was a tremendous defender at shortstop. He was shortstop. Yeah, I think he was a shortstop. Then he got moved to third. Then he got moved to second.
Yeah.
He was incredible.
Like Taylor Walls.
Really, but like with an actual bat.
Yes.
Like what Taylor Walls did in April was Michael Young, his whole career, basically. So starting off from there, if that was 2010, he was already moved to third. I'm thinking he started in 2005-ish, 2003-ish, and he stopped playing in 2015. So that's like a 12-year career. The first 8 years, he was an all-star type player. So I would say those 8 years, he was like a 3-4 WAR guy. So that would be around 30. And then he did maybe 2 WAR per year the next 4. Maybe he's getting old, not as good. I'm going to go with 37.
That's a really good guess. I'm just cross-referencing what his Fangraphs is. Okay. Wow. They're actually about the same. That surprises me. Michael Young played approximately 14 years in the bigs, 12 with the Rangers, made 7 all-star appearances. I think 6 in a row, actually. Has a batting title to his name, 1 Gold Glove, an all-star MVP award, career 300 hitter, 185 dingers, 104 OPS plus, 90 stolen bases, 2,375 hits. Very, very solid career. And surprising to me, his WAR does not really represent that as much as I thought. 24.7.
What?
BREF. And Fangraphs is 25.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's got to be a discrepancy. His strikeout rate was 14%.
I love KK. I love KK. You know I love KK. Do I love KK, Kevin?
Yes, absolutely.
KK has a higher WAR than Michael Young?
I guess so, which to me is impossible. I don't know if maybe there's a glitch here. Maybe intern McGee punched in the wrong number.
That's a typo. 24 for Michael bleeping Young. Guys, if you're young and you don't know who Michael Young is, go to the YouTube machine right after this, and you have to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. Go look up Michael Young highlights. He was tremendous. And if you're old enough to remember Michael Young, write it down in the comments if you think that 24.7 tracks, because I don't think that tracks at all.
Yeah, no. In fact, I would re-scramble those numbers. Instead of 24.7, I would think 42.7. Yeah, that's like more legitimate. And not only was he a really good ball player, but also a really good human being from all indications. A two-time winner of the Marvin Miller Man of the Year Award, winning in 2008 and 2011. He is one of only 4 players to have won it multiple times. John Smoltz, Jim Tomei, and the Grandy Man Curtis Granderson. So that's the other thing WAR does not measure, how much of a good clubhouse glue guy you are and how much you bring to the table for being an ambassador to your respective franchise. Sure, there were a lot of Michael Young jerseys rolling around.
5 years.
The Dallas Metroplex.
5 years he got MVP votes. 5 years he got MVP votes. That's incredible. I am under protest with Baseball Ref for this episode.
Send an email to Baseball Reference. I think we all need to double check that stuff there. All right. Regardless, hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you next week.